All right, guys, welcome to today's training, the two identity traps that are slowing down your growth. Now, what if I told you that your expectations could be the exact thing that is slowing down your growth? If you have a certain set plan in mind of how something needs to be, how it should be, so when you picture this goal, this desire, and it's like it needs to be this certain way, it needs to be this certain person, it needs to work this certain way, this certain business model, whatever it may be, if you have these set expectations on how it should be, what if I told you that's the exact thing that could be limiting your growth, your potential, your speed until you get that result? What if that was actually limiting it? I'm going to share with you how and why. So, first and foremost, how you want to think about this is let's say this goal, this desire that you want, it requires a new version of you. It requires you to be in a certain set state, requires you to think, feel, act, be differently, a new identity, this thing that you want. And mind you, the things that you think that you want are only for the feeling that you think you're going to get from it. That's all. Like when you picture the materialistic things that you want in your life, relationships, money, business success, whatever it may be, it all usually comes down to because of the feeling that you think you're going to get from it. And that's what kind of drives you to want it. So it's the feeling that we actually want, mind you. It's the feeling that we actually want. So the goal or the desire is the feeling that we actually want. Our expectation, though, what we try to do is we take this feeling. So here's how I explain it. This will all make sense at the end. So you have this limited plan. We'll say this is the plan or the expectation of what you want. And this green here we'll say is the feeling, the emotion. So again, let's say if it's a relationship, right? If it's a relationship, you might have a certain idea of like, okay, they need to look this way, be this way, they need to be this person, maybe, whatever it may be. Same thing with business, right? It needs to work out this way, I need to sell this way. Things need to work out in whatever order I have in my mind. Okay, mind you, the thing that you want is all because of the feeling that you think you're going to get. So the plan expectation, as you can see what I drawn out here, this is you. The plan expectation is a lot more limited than the feeling itself. The feeling itself has room for so many other possibilities, right? There's so many other ways this feeling that you want, because that's the thing that you want at the end of the day, so many other ways that that could happen. And have you ever in your life had an experience or go through something where you had certain expectations of how you thought something was going to be, but it actually ended up being way, way better than you could have imagined? It usually happens like that. And the reason why is because sometimes what I would argue is that this inner calling that you have, this inner feeling that you have, it's leading you towards something. But what happens is that your current mind, your current identity, your current self right now tries to make up some sort of vision picture to predict it and assume how it's going to shape and how it's going to look and how it's going to work. Problem with that is that you can only think to the level of your identity. So you can, like, for example, if someone believes they're poor and they're never going to have money, they might not ever be able to see themselves as a millionaire. But somebody who's a millionaire can easily see themselves as a millionaire, even with more money, right? It just depends on your identity, and that determines the level to which you can even grasp or understand or see yourself as or accomplish. Okay, your mind, you won't even spend time thinking about it if you genuinely do not believe it's real. You won't even think about it, you won't even try to get it, whatever it may be. So, if we have these set expectations, typically that is set at our current identity baseline. And we will have very limited expectations on how we, and just mind you, just how we work as a person. It's always a very limited expectations on how we think things need to work out or how it should be. And usually that comes down because we're always just trying to control. We always want certainty. We always want to try to control things, just how the brain works. But if you could let go of the specific plan slash expectation on how you think things should be, and instead focus on the overall feeling, of what is it that you want, I can almost guarantee you that your rate of growth, how you progress and transform yourself, will speed up way faster. And I'll explain here why in a second. But if you do that, if you focus on the feeling, then you won't get caught up on the when things don't go the exact way that you thought. And instead of like getting stuck on that track, you can become adaptable. You can change. You can keep finding the path of least resistance to get to where you want to go rather than force some other way that might not even be the way. So when you focus on the feeling, though, when you focus on the feeling, you let go of these crazy expectations on how something needs to be or work out or who it needs to be or whatever it may be, you open up room for so much more possibility for it to even, again, potentially end up even better than you thought it could be. But the problem is that, and the reason why I believe this is going to speed up your rate of growth, or I know this is going to speed up your rate of growth and get you the thing that you actually want in the first place, is because if you're caught up on, okay, it needs to be this one certain way, right? What happens when the path starts going down here and it starts going back here and around here, right? If it needs to be a certain way, and things don't go that way that we expected or wanted it, what's going to happen is in these moments when things are not going our way, is we're going to get so beat down. We're going to get so discouraged, get so upset about it. We're going to struggle so much more than we need to. We're going to get so stuck on the thing. And here's the thing is that what slows down your growth the most is when you get stuck on things, right? You get caught up on things. The quickest way to grow is the quickest way to learn, understand something, to adapt, to change. So if you get stuck on something that's not working out in your favor, not the way you want to, you kind of hold on to it, right? You get literally caught up on it. And that's the thing that's slowing down your growth the fastest. So that's why if we have an overall general expectation, and the general expectation just to be, I want this state of being, this feeling. I want this emotion. That's the thing I genuinely want most. I'm going to open up the doors to however I can get that. If you have that and then you embody that state now and act upon that, because that's how you literally shift your identity and attract the things you want in your life, is you adopt it now, you act, be it, and eventually you will literally become it. But if you do that now, I bet you that will open up so many more possibilities and doors for you than the limited expectations that your mind may have right now. So that's number one. That's number one. Leave in the comments if that made sense or not, because I know I kind of went off track a little bit here and there, but I think we've kind of got the whole idea to hit a home run, I guess you could say at the end. So the second one that I'll share with you guys here today, mind you, if you were an established entrepreneur, a high level performer who is struggling right now, if you're stuck at a plateau, if you're struggling, if you can't seem to break through, you feel like you're self-sabotaging, whatever it may be along the lens there, and you want to expand your growth, you want to tap into more potential that you know you have, you want to grow your business, you can apply for one-to-one coaching down below. So the second one is meaning. Okay, so the second one today that could be slowing down your growth, the second trap is meaning. So again, let's say my amazing drawings, just draw them out. Let's say this is you now, say level one. I'll draw this one in green, and this is where you want to be. Awesome. Okay, so this is the change that you want, right? So you want to get to here, but this is where you're at right now. Here's what's going to happen is that the version of you, who you are now, is created off of a certain set amount of, just keep it as easy as possible, belief systems. And the reason why I say who you are now is a created product of your belief systems is because literally your belief systems are the instruction manual for your brain to follow. Your belief systems create your actual identity. How it does that is your beliefs kind of influence, it sends you the thoughts that you receive. You personalize and identify with those thoughts. You feel an emotion typically from those thoughts as you think them, as you imagine them, whatever it may be. Over time, emotion or thought and feelings that fire off together will start to wire together. So you start to actually believe that's who you are. It's real. That forms your identity. And then that influences your behaviors, your focus, your actions. You have a ego that then protects that sense of self. So you kind of stay stuck with that identity to an extent. And your actions, behaviors, habits is what produces actual real results in your life. So that's kind of what I mean by your belief systems has created who you are now. What that means is that the new level of the new you, who you want to become, who has, let's say, more success, more accomplishments, happier, whatever it may be, they have different belief systems. So they have new, and we'll do it in purple. New beliefs. I don't know if you can see that. I might be in the way. I am in the way. That's okay. It says new beliefs behind me. Okay. So number two is on meaning. So where am I going with this? So level you, who you are right now, level one you is designed, created by a certain set of belief systems, we'll say. And who you want to become has a new set of belief systems. If you have new results in your life, overall long-term results, right? Consistent long-term results. If you have new long-term results, you probably have new belief systems then. You had to have new belief systems to kind of create those new results long term. So here's what is where meeting comes in. Because when you ask for change, and as you start to go on the hero's journey, we'll say this is the hero's journey. So you want to become them. You're going to go on the hero's journey to become them. This is what it's going to look like. Okay, this is the end up here. This is the start. And this is the hero journey. Okay, the becoming. Now, what you notice is there's growth periods, there is slow periods, and there's actually, we call it constriction. Okay, we'll call it, it's not loss, it's letting go, we'll say. There's shedding seasons as well. Now, this is where a lot of people get stuck when they're trying to grow and transform themselves. And mind you, the reason why, which you'll see here soon, is all because our brain, our natural animal cells resist change. We don't want change. So as you start to change, what's going to happen is that there is going to be periods of times where things might be falling apart in your life. Old situations, relationships fall apart. You go through challenges, you go through struggles, you lose a lot, you face your biggest fears, your worst fears might come to life, whatever it may be. You're going through something, you're always going to have those low tide waves. There's always going to be those low waves in life, those ups and downs. So these, what I would call is shedding seasons. And basically, you asked for this in a way because you can't take all of this with you to your next level. This is all happening for you to get to that end goal because you can't take that old program and that old baggage, those old belief systems to your next level. It's not possible. It's got to go, right? You got to make space for what's next, right? You got to rebuild the structure, the foundation. So the shedding period, it's happening for you. But what happens to a lot of us when we're going through these moments where maybe your life is falling apart, you're in the worst, you're struggling, things are not working out the way that you wanted. And this is, mind you, this connects to the expectations like I mentioned. What's happening is basically, so this is all happening for you. And in the grand scheme of things, looking back, you'll be able to see how this is happening for you. But in the moment where most people get so caught up in why they struggle to grow and it sticks around for so long and the struggles and the suffering is because they get so caught up in that moment because they're giving such a negative meaning to the event that's happening. And what you should know is that reality itself is neutral. Everything is just happening. We are the ones that assign meaning to things. And that's not a depressing thing or anything. It just is. Um, which is one of the best gifts ever, though. One of the best gifts ever. Because I could assign things the meaning that everything is happening against me and the world sucks, and that would give me such a bad, poor reality experience. Or I could believe and give things meaning that it's all happening and working out for me, and then I'll have a total different perspective and see it completely differently. Then I'll approach it differently. I'll have a different reaction from it moving forwards. So it's actually one of your gifts that you give meaning to reality, okay, to the things happening in reality. But what gets a lot of people stuck is number one, the unawareness of this, because when you go through a shedding season and things are falling apart, you might step into the mindset of like, why is this happening to me? This is not fair. Why me? Things never work out for me. I always fail. Every time I try to change my life, things fall apart. A bunch of fear pops up. Things just completely go off track and don't work out. Remember, it's not actually true. You have no idea because you haven't made it to the end yet. That thing that you think is falling apart could actually be the exact single thing that's needed to help you spring off into that next version of your life, that next level, to get the exact thing that you want. But your mind is making up this negative meaning, and then you're experiencing it and going through it in that whole way, and it's going to end up being negative because that's how you defined it. That's the power of your mindset. Like that is the power of our minds, and how we can change our minds in a way that help us grow and change so much. Because if you had the mind, if you gave everything a positive meaning in that sense that helps you get to where you want to go, right? Then you're going to look at your situation so much differently. You're going to allow your situation to unfold so much differently. You're going to accept it. Therefore, you can move on from it because you won't get so caught up in the moment and so stuck on it and struggle with it and have a hard time coming to what is it? What's that saying called? Coming to grounds with it, or whatever it may be. Coming to a place where you can actually accept it, allow it, and let it go, right? You get caught up onto it. Why did it have to happen this way? Or why couldn't it work this way? So if we just get the meaning that everything is happening for us and we just do our part and hold that intention of the emotion, the thing that we want, and we just do our part and act upon it, act upon it, act upon it, become more, right? Grow ourselves, become better, and keep going towards it. Gosh, you just wait just see what happens. Save this video, apply that, and watch your life change in such amazing ways. So that's the training that I want to get through to you guys today, is the 2 identity traps that could be keeping you stuck, at least is slowing down your growth to the next level that you want to get to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this training. If this made sense, make sure you leave a comment. What hit home the most for you? What did you like? Make sure you subscribe, and share this to a friend if you're feeling called to. But thank you guys so much for being here and watching. You can apply for one-on-one help down below, and I'll see you guys on the next training.